こん
Hello,
にち
everyone,
は。
and welcome to the Kyotopia podcast, a bilingual podcast where we talk about various things in English and Japanese. My name is Micah, and welcome to. I already said that. My name is Micah.
大丈夫
Take what? One more time. One more
Take
time.
two.
Okay.
勝ち。
Day off in Kyoto, got bored at the temple, looked around at the 7-Eleven. The band took the speed train, went to the arcade. I wanted to go, but I didn't.
はい、皆さんこんにちは。Kyotopia podcast へようこそ。Hello,
ようこそ。
everyone. Welcome
こ
to
んに
the
ちは。
Kyotopia podcast, a bilingual podcast where we talk about various things in English and Japanese. My name is Micah, and joining me as always is the lovely Yuko Sensei.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Yuko
こん
Sensei, お
にちは、
元気です
皆さん。
か？
はい、元気ですよ。
What's up? The second one is
はい。
always hard. Everybody, so we always record 2 episodes together, so we don't have to do it every weekend. And starting the conversation for the second episode is always difficult. Like,
そうですね。
because we already
はい。
talked about like what we did in the day on the first episode. So,
確かに。
なんか
はい。
面白い話ある？
今絶対そうやって振られると思ったよ。そう
助け
ね。
て。
そうね、面白い
Help
話
me, help
ね。
me.
あえて言うなら、まあそうですね。お風呂場のカビカビ取りがちょっとめんどくさいなと思って。
カビ取り？
カビは英語で何ですか？
mold.
あ、そう、モード。そうそうそう。日本とか、あと台湾など、この東南アジアでね、その湿気が高い国の、その夏の一番めんどくさいところは、このカビなんですよ。
掃除ね。うん。
そうで、まあその食べ物にもカビが生えやすいし、あとこの特にシャワールーム、お風呂場の壁とか天井とか、多分これ日本で住んでた方は多分経験あると思うんですけど、その黒い点々点々っていうカビがね、夏場はよくできて、これがまあ掃除がめんどくさいんですよね。
Yeah. So in the summertime in Japan, it's very humid. As we've mentioned before, there's a lot of moisture in the air. So in the summertime, cleaning up is particularly annoying because mold starts to grow, especially in the shower area
そう
and
そう
between
そ
the tiles and like up on the
そう。
ceiling area. So cleaning that up
あ
is
れが
is
ね、
very
そう。
mendokusai ne.
どんなにまあ綺麗なお家お風呂でもそう必ずやっぱりそう換気しててもカビが入るんですよね。あれがどこからやってくるのか。
Yeah. And I think I've mentioned this before, but when you do your laundry too, you have to take it out of the washing machine soon and hang it up. If you leave it in for too long, it'll
あ、
get
ちょっと待って、
molded.
思い出した。マイカさん
はい
いタイミングで言ってくれたけど、私今洗濯物ちょうど洗濯機の中に入れたままになってますが、
No.
多
You're gonna
分
have
1
to do
時
it
間ぐ
again.
らい経って
それは
るか
もうダメだ
ら、
ね。
いやいやいや、多分大丈夫です。
大丈夫。
はい。
まあ、
いけ
you
る
can
かな。
always check.
う
You
ん。
take it out and give it a smell.
そうそうそうそうそう
Smell
匂
it.
いでね。そう臭
Yeah,
か
it
ったら
doesn't
ちょっ
doesn't
とも
smell
う一
like
回
mold.
洗わないといけないかもしれない。そう洗濯物がねなんか臭くなりやすいのもこの
Yeah.
夏場とか雨の日が続くとこの梅雨の時期もそうですけど、はい。
And because there's
臭くなり
moisture,
ます
they
ね。
don't have dryers here. They don't really use drying machines for the laundry. You just
乾燥
wash
機
it.
ね。
Yeah,
そう。
乾燥機が
は
ないから、まあ普通はね、ないから、everyone like hangs up their clothes outside. In the summertime, it's so moist in the air. It takes so long for the clothes to get dry.
そ
Like
うそうそう。
yesterday, I did a bunch of laundry and it was hanging up outside all day. I put it out like early in the morning. And when the sun went down, I was going to take it in and like my socks were still wet. And I was just like, what? I think I maybe put too much out there. You have to space it out because if you put everything all close together, then it doesn't get dry.
ああそうですね。
But, you know.
ところで
ところで
今回のセグメントは
Yay, we got
何
another
ですか？
segment we're going to do. It's we did once for our
うん。
Patreon episode. It's probably our favorite segment so far. It's Kyotopia Happy Hour. Yay!
イエーイ。
the Kyotopia Happy Hour is a segment where we introduce a Japanese brewery and we do a tasting of one of their beers. So today we went around, if you listened to the last episode, you heard that we went around and did a little bit of bar hopping to some craft beer bars, and we took home a special bottle, and I'm gonna get it now and we'll pour you a glass. So hold on a second, I'll be right back.
楽しみですね。いろいろな種類があったんですけど、今日行ったそのクラフトビールのお店、店員さんにおすすめを聞いて、あとはそのラベルですね。ラベルがすごい可愛いデザインだったので、このクラフトビールにしたんですけど、こんな感じのブルーウッドですね。ブルーウッド。これは和歌山県の関西の大阪の近くにある和歌山県のビールで、なんと桜エールということで、桜の味が楽しめるかも。グビグビグビグビトクトクトクトク。
So this is, as you said, Blue Wood brewery from Wakayama. Wakayama is on Honshu. It's just south of us, actually, right?
そうです。京都があって、大阪があって、その南側ですね。
And today's flavor that we're tasting is Sakura Ale. So it's Sakura or cherry blossom ale. And I wanted to ask you, this is one of those questions that even though I've been in Japan for a long time and I've studied Japanese for a while, like there's always simple things that I miss or simple things that I still don't know. But you have cherry, right? And sakura is cherry tree, right? Sakurambo is cherry, right?
はい。
But what's the difference between sakura flavor and cherry flavor? Is there a difference or is it the same? Is it just a different way to say?
桜フレーバーは、もっとなんか桜の香り、そのチェリー、さくらんぼじゃなくて、そのチェリーブロッサムの桜の、なんていうの、スタバとかでもよくほら、桜ラテとか出てるやん。あれは、そのチェリーの味じゃなくて、その桜のフレーバー。
I see. So it's the taste of a tree?
とか、桜の匂いとか、香り。
But sakurambo is cherry, right?
そうです、そうです。だから、さくらんぼとチェリーは同じそのチェリーフレーバーだけど、桜っていうと、そうです、なんかこう、抹茶みたいなそういうイメージ。桜の木の葉っぱとか、その匂いとかの方ですね。
I see, I see. So, yeah.
だからこれはそうね、チェリーというより、匂いはどうですか？確かに桜の木の香りがするかも。
Yeah, and the art on the bottle is very cute. I don't know if in the Twitch you guys can see, but it's got this like, he looks like a potato or something. I don't know what this guy's supposed to be, but he's got like some sakura crown on. He's got some sakura flowers on his head, and he seems very happy about his sakura ale he's about to drink. So let's enjoy, okay? Let's do kanpai, okay?
はい。じゃあ皆さんもぜひね、この Twitch を見てくれてる皆さんと聞いてくれてる皆さんも一緒にせーので乾杯しましょうか。はい。じゃあ、せーの。乾杯じゃーん。美味しい。なるほど。
なんか、そんなになんか桜ってなんか強い味しないね。なんか、it's more subtle. But it's good. 飲みやすい。
これは、種類で言うと IPA ですか？
IPA ではないですね。これはエール、多分。
あ、エールか。だからこの赤いエールのこの色してるんですね。
そう。And it's 4%, so not too heavy. Yeah. It's pretty good. 飲みやすいですね。And I tried to look at the website, the Blue Wood Brewery website. And they have like, they're mostly fruity beers, it looks like. They like to use like local fruits from Wakayama to make. So there's lots of like, there's like mikan.
そうね、和歌山といえばみかん。
And there's umeバーレ。
あ、そうね、梅もはい、有名ですね、和歌山の。
And then I don't know what this, I guess it's a different kind of ume, but I can't read the kanji.
紀州梅とか
Maybe. Yeah, it's shu. That's like a, yeah, shu.
紀州南高梅酒もね、有名ですよね。
And there's sumomo. And ichigo.
はい。
and なんとか something that looks like lime.
うんうん。
But
和
there's
歌
lots
山
of,
は本当
yeah.
に、そう、果物がね、たくさん取れて、気候がね、多分果物作りに向いてるんですよ。
そうか、そうか。
うん。なので、ぜひ。
So lots of fruity beers. This is pretty good.
うんうん。
Not bad, but I wanted to look to see how long this has been a brewery, but the website's all in Japanese, so it takes me a little bit of a long time to read everything, but I don't see a date when they started or any like history here. 今見てる？サイト。
いや、見てないです。
あ、そうか。
あ、じゃあ、リンク送ってくれたら見るよ。
Oh, okay. It's just bluewood.beer. 僕たちのビールはたくさんの種類があるよ。って書いてある。
何その喋り方。このキャラクターに。
いろいろ飲み比べながら、フレンドやファミリーで飲んだら絶対楽しいはず。自分の好きなお酒を探してね。
はい。
書いてあります。ハッピービール。
うん。かわいい。
すごいかわいい。あ、なんか、あれ、キャラクターだね。あ、
そうね。
何
うん。ここの多分会社の、桜、違うわ。多分、
でもなん
みかん
か
の木。
ぬいぐるみがもうあるよ。
うん
ぬいぐるみの
かわいいね
写真載ってる。I'll put a link for the website in the episode, so if you guys want to check out the Bluewood beer, yeah, you can. So yeah, it's delicious. I'm gonna continue to drink.
いいですね。マイカさん、今日はすでに何杯飲みましたか？
いや、そんなに、まあ、前回のエピソードも話したと思うけど、まあ、
はい
3杯 ?3 杯 ?3 杯
はい。
はい、合ってる？
3杯
?3 杯か。
ど
3
っちで
杯。
もいいけどね。3杯、3杯。はい。
そう、3杯。まあ、これで4杯か。うん。これで4
4
杯。
杯目
うん。4杯目。So yeah, but they're all spaced out. Like, I took a nap and I'm fine. I got all my faculties. Everything's fine.
そうですか。
Maybe. Right, so that's it for today's ビールの紹介。Kyotopia Happy Hour.
イエーイ。
イ
乾
エ
杯。
ーイ、乾杯。
じゃあ飲みながら進めていきましょうか。はい。
それでは、
わあ。
今日のトピックは何でしょう？
なんでしょう。
ラーメンです。
Ramen. Yay! This is a delicious episode. This is a very delicious episode. We had
By
a
the
beer
way.
segment and we're talking about ramen.
あ、そうですね。そうそうそうそう。
Very
ビ
yummy
ール
episode.
ラーメン。そう。ビールとラーメンの相性は最高ですよね、マイカさんのところで。そう。
最高。
で、なんかちょっとお腹が空いてきたので
確か
なん
に。
かラーメンの話したらもっとお腹が空きそうですが、質問です。マイカさんは、
はい
そうね、1ヶ月に何回ぐらいラーメンを食べに行きますか？
おー、それはいい質問ですね。So how many times do I eat ramen in 1 month? Maybe 4 to 5 times.
じゃあまあ1週間に1回
そう、
ぐらい。
だいたい、yeah, once a week, maybe more.
すごい、結構頻繁に食べてますね。
Is that good or bad?
いやいや、全然、
頻繁に is what? Is like normal or like
よく
よくか。Like I go a lot.
そうね、1週間に1回だったら、私多分、どうかな、1ヶ月にラーメン1回、2回ぐらいかなと思って、それは別に食べたくないとかじゃないけど、なんかあんまり食べに行く機会がそんなにないかなと思って。一人でラーメン屋さんに行くのも別に行けないわけじゃないけど、あんまり行かない。そうそう。やっぱりなんかラーメン屋さんってこうね、男の人がバーって早く食べて、出ていくっていうのが日本のラーメン屋さんのティピカルイメージですよね。
Yeah, so it's more normal for the typical image of men going alone to eat ramen real fast to fill up and go about their day to get their energy. But not so much for women. Women usually go with a friend or a group of people to get ramen.
あとまたはその飲みに行った帰りに その2軒目、じゃあその締めのラーメンみたいな感じで、
締めのラーメンはいいですね。
そう、うちに帰る前に、電車に乗る前に、じゃあちょっと誰かがね、そう、なんかちょっとお腹空いて小腹減ってないみたいな話をし始めて、じゃあちょっとラーメン食べて帰りましょうかってなるから、多分すごいお腹がね、ちょっと出てきちゃうんだけど、そう飲んだ後の締めっていうのも、なんとなくラーメンは結構よく聞きますよね。
Yeah, so there's a concept called shime no ramen. So like when you go out with your friends on a late drinking night, you're all going bar hopping or whatever late in the evening. Always when you're done and you're on your way home, someone is bound to be like, "Ne, onaka suite nai? Shime no ramen tabeyo yo," みたいな. Like they eat a bowl of ramen as their like drunk food. It's drunk food is what we would say in American English. The drunk food in America would be like fast food probably, because those are the restaurants that are open like 24 hours or really, really late. So people will go, and you can't drive, but you can go to like Taco Bell or something like that, or something that's really bad for your body.
そう、でも日本のさ、このラーメンとかも、本当夜遅い時間に食べたら本当はあんまり体に良くないんだけど、そう。でもやっぱり、なんて言うんでしょうね。なんか、こう飲んだ後になんか食べたくなるのはすごいわかります。
Definitely. Yeah, I love Shime no ramen.
本当に
Yeah, it goes really because of the saltiness. Anything salty goes really, really well when you're drinking. So, but that's one tanoshimikata for eating
楽しみ
ramen.
方。そうで、ごめんなさい。もしかしたら後でマイカさんのトピックに出てくる予定だったかもしれないんですけど、私は本当に、この日本のラーメンのコンセプト、イメージと、海外の特にヨーロッパのラーメンの、なんていうのかな、イメージ、ラーメンショップのイメージがすごく違いすぎて、ドイツに行った時にびっくりしたんですよ。
Okay. When was this though? Like when did you go to Europe and experience
いつだっ
this?
たかな5年ぐらい前かな、その行った時は。
So I think the word ramen and the concept of the food ramen in America has changed fairly recently, maybe in the past 10 years. When I was younger, ramen was instant ramen. So
そういう意味でね。
it was like very cheap and usually something that college students eat when they don't have very much money to live. They'll just eat instant ramen like every day. So it didn't really have a like image of like quality good like food, but I think more recently, like I said, in the past 10 years, there's like ramen shops in the big cities of people opening up, and people are becoming aware through anime as well and like Japanese culture that like ramen is actually a very good. It's like the soul food of Japan, I would say.
そうですね。
Because like it's affordable. Usually ramen shops are not going to get like a bowl of ramen is not going to get any more than like 1000 yen. 1000 yen is like kind of an expensive kind of ramen, but generally like normal ramen is like 700 yen, like 700 to 800 yen.
そう、地方、例えば和歌山とかの田舎の方に行ったら、今でも600円とかで大きいたくさんもりもり入ったラーメンが食べられたりするし、だから大阪とか東京の観光客が多いとこのラーメン屋さんとかは多分トッピングをたくさんつけて、で、1000円とか1200円ぐらいにしてるところも多いんじゃないかなと思って、そう。だけどそれでもまだ海外、特にアメリカのね、そういうなんかラーメンのお店に比べたらまだ安いですよね。
多分ね、でも、but I haven't been back in such a long time. Like, I remember like I worked at a Japanese supermarket in America for a while, and they had like a restaurant area where they served curry and ramen and stuff. But the quality wasn't as good, of course, as what you can get in Japan. I don't know, but I think it's more popular now in America.
そうですね。
There seems to be people.
で、すいません、ちょっと話戻りますけど、
はい、どうぞ。
さっき私が言いたかったそのヨーロッパと日本のラーメンのそのコンセプトの違いっていうのが、ヨーロッパでは本当にラーメン屋さんがすっごくおしゃれな感じで、もうなんていうのかな、店の中がすごいこうなんかファンシーな可愛い感じで、ちょっと高級感もあって、なんか日本のラーメンって本当にさ、牛丼とかと同じようなファストフードっていう位置づけですよね。
Yeah.
だけど、 そうヨーロッパで見たラーメン屋さん、例えばフランスのパリとかそのドイツのベルリンとかはもう本当に、例えば女の子2人がそこに行ってゆっくりおしゃべりしながらこうラーメンをちょっとずつちょっとずつちょっとずつ食べて、でゆっくり食べる、そういう本当の普通のレストランみたいな感じですごくこうなんて言うんだろうね、ラグジュアリーラーメンっていうお店が多かったから、なんかラーメンもそうヨーロッパではこういう感じにスタイリッシュになるんだなと思って嬉しかったです。
So Yuko Sensei is just talking about how, I guess, when you went to Germany or in Europe and you had ramen at a ramen restaurant there 5 years ago, something like that, the image of a ramen restaurant is more of a high quality sort of luxury cuisine. It's more like a cuisine than
そう
it
そう
is.
クイジーン、そうそうそんな感じ、イメージ的には。
But in Japan, not so much. Like you can go to a fancy ramen place, but it's still gonna be like reasonably priced and cheap.
So-
But like generally ramen, they're good. Like the flavor's good, but it's more of like a fast food sort of vibe and quality, or at least how it's perceived.
そう。
Yeah.
だからこう滞在時間も短いですよね。皆さんこう行ってトゥルトゥルってラーメン食べて、もう食べ終わったらもうさっと出ていくっ
Right.
ていう感じ。まあ30分ぐらいかなと思いますね。
Yeah, it's actually kind of rude to stay too long in a ramen shop because people sometimes are lined up waiting outside,
そう。
and it's all about the speed, like the whole fast food concept, right? Of like getting people in and out. And there's this one ramen place that I used to go to a lot that was really close to where I used to work in Tokyo, and it was Jiroke, but very famous like Jiroke like place. It was very very delicious. And
ジ
anyway,
ロ系は何ですか、マイカさん。
I'll explain that in a second.
はい。
First,
はい。
I had a couple. I recommended it to a couple of my coworkers, these two women, and they went to eat there. And I guess they were talking a little bit, and while they were like eating or whatever, and then the chef guy was like, すいませんが、みんな待ってるからもうちょっと早く
そうそうそうそう、
食べ
結構ね
なみたいな。
厳しい
そうそうそう
厳しい人、スタッフっていうか店長さん、オーナーさんはね、そうラーメンを本当に味わってもらいたいから、
そうそうそう
もう食べ終わったらすぐ出てっていうところも多いですよね。
Right. But when you were in Europe, you said it was like more of like a restaurant. You can like relax and take your time. But in Japan, yeah, it's definitely more of a stop and go sort of
そう
vibe.
そ
But yeah, Jiroke.
うそうそうそう。
Jiroke.
私もあんまりよく分かってなくて、二郎系ってなんかラーメンの種類？
Yeah, it's like a style of ramen where the typical image is like a mountain of moyashi or bean sprouts are on top.
はいはいはい、
And then there's like lots of niniku in it. And there's they usually ask you like niniku do sarimasu ka or whatever, like but normally you put the niniku in there, or garlic, sorry, for if you don't know what niniku is. And the noodles are really thick, and it's like very abura-poi. So
じゃあもう本当に
yeah, it's like a place that all the guys, yeah, kotteri, yeah,
はいはい、
like usually like, and it was always a long line at this place, and it was delicious. But like if you get the normal size, because you could get the you could get
重そう
omori,
ですね。
めっちゃ重くて、when I was super hungry, I would go there, and then when I leave, like I want to die. Like it's like so painful, and I'm like,
もう
yeah, my
話
heart's
何
gonna
もでき
stop.
ないみたいなね。
Yeah.
はいはいはい。
But it's good, and I would go there a lot every time. It's one of those things, like it feels like when you drink too much and you have a hangover and you're like, I'm never gonna drink again. That's every time I ate at that place. When I was finished, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then I'll go again like next week.
それで言ったら私の好きなラーメンタイプではないですね。
Jiro ne. Yeah,
二郎系は
Jiroke is more popular with men, I think.
がっつりだよね。だからもう本当にこうがっつりたくさん食べたい人向け。
Yeah.
じゃあところでマイカさんの
はい
好きな味、いろいろありますよね。ラーメンって言ってもその醤油ラーメンもあるし、味噌ラーメン、あと北海道の味噌バターラーメンとか、あと塩のあっさりしたもの、それから鶏白湯、白いスープのものとかいろいろありますが、 よく行くラーメン屋さんはどんなジャンルですか？
そうですね。So yeah, in ramen there's a bunch of different styles, a bunch of different flavors you can get: miso flavor, salt flavor, soy sauce, etc. etc. 俺なんか正直言うと I don't really know, like よくわかんない。I just go to the place. I think 多分塩かな。来来亭はどんな種類？
来来亭ね、私も大好きです。あそこなんでしょうね。
何味？
醤油じゃない？
醤油でしょ？醤油
私
か。
のイメージは醤油だけど。
Yeah, so either 醤油 or 塩, probably 醤油.
ベーシックな。
Yeah, just like a regular basic Japanese style ramen is like my go-to. I do like Jiroke a lot because that one place left a big impression on me.
あ、忘れてた。ごめん。豚骨ラーメン忘れてたよ。
豚骨ね。豚骨 is like pork, like what is it? Pork flavor or something? 豚骨って何ですか？
豚の骨
Right.
豚の骨をこうグツグツ煮込んでそのスープにしてる。結構
多分それが好きかもね、俺は。豚骨ラーメン。
多分
一番好きなのは。
そう一般的にね、私の有効リサーチだけど、男の人は結構豚骨が好きな人が多くて、あとは私が今までにその Airbnb のゲストさんで出会った人たちはみんなやっぱり豚骨が好き。特に台湾とか中国の方で、なんて言うんだろう、ああいう同じような味が多分あるからだと思うんですけど、口に合うみたいですよ。
Yeah, so 豚骨 ramen is like the broth is made through like pig bones, I guess is how they get the flavor of the soup. And it's usually very thick, right? Pretty thick flavor, strong flavor.
そうなんですよ。
Yeah. I think the jiroke is 豚骨 ramen, maybe.
そう。だから豚骨の中でもさらにもっとよりニンニクもたくさん使ってすごいディープなヘビーなジャンルってことですよね。
And then they have like 背脂 sometimes.
わあ、めっちゃディープ。
Yeah, so like when you go to a ramen place, there's generally two styles. They have the machines where it's like the menus on the machine, and you have the buttons where you choose which one you want, and you put your money in like a vending machine, and the ticket comes out, and then you give your ticket to the staff or the chef, and then they might ask you a few questions. Right. It depends. Sometimes they won't ask you anything, but sometimes they'll ask if you have like kodowari or something.
そうね。
Right.
カスタマイズできるもんね、ラーメン。
Right. And what are the things they normally ask you, Yuko Sensei? Like
そのチケット買った後
はい。
ですか？どうかな、私聞かれたことないけど。
マジで？
チケット買った後ですよね。もうそのどの
渡したら
食べるか。
そうだね。なんか、
特別なんか
なんか麺の硬さとか。背脂抜きとかニンニクとか
聞かれない。
まあたまになんか店によるんだけど it depends on which ramen shop you go to, but sometimes they ask you what style noodles do you want and how hard or how well cooked do you want your noodles. Do you want them to be kind of on the hard side or soft side, or just, and if you don't know what to do, if you're in a situation where you buy the ticket and they're like what do you want or whatever, like what customization do you want? You can just say 普通で。
そうね。
普通でお願いします。Just regular, just give me the standard. Yeah, but so they have the 麺の硬さ, the how well cooked you want the noodles. If you want ニンニク, right? Or if you want garlic
たまにそれは
included.
聞かれる。ニンニク入れますか
そう、
とか。
入れますか Yeah.
ニンニク抜きで。
少なめ Yeah, you can say 抜きで or 少なめ like just a little bit. And 背脂 you can say 背脂抜き as well.
背脂。
The lai lai they has 背脂 in it, you know.
あ、そうなんだ。
Yeah. 背脂 is like back fat. It's like the back fat of a pig that they put like in it. In the soup or whatever. You can ask to have that taken out if you're on a diet and you're still eating ramen for some reason. Yeah. So they'll ask you different things and like what you prefer when you get your
そう
ramen.
ね。
Tsukemen is also really delicious. A different style of ramen where the soup is separate from the noodles, and you dip the noodles in the soup and then eat that way.
そう、美味しいポイントは、つけ麺のね、いいところは、麺が冷たいんですよ。冷たくしてあって、で、そのスープが、 あったかい熱いからその冷たいのと熱いのをなんか一緒に食べるニュースタイルみたいなニューラーメン
It's very good though. Yeah, and it's a way to keep the noodles and the soup kind of fresh. Like one of the reasons that I think the ramen chefs want you to eat the ramen quickly is because the longer that the noodles are in the soup, they what you say like men ga nobichau. Like they'll get too soft. So if you get skim in, the noodles are always the same consistency, and you can always like it's like almost like eating fresh. But somebody in the Twitch chat is asking a question. Do you see that, Yuko Sensei? Hara hachi bunmei ni isha
医
irazu.
者いらずすごい言葉知ってるんだ
医者いらずって初めてだけど
素晴らし
どういう意味ですか？
はいはい、
腹八分目に医者いらず。
医者がいらないってことですよ。
まあそこはわかるんですけどどういう意味ですか？
腹八分目っていうとこのほら10マックスが10だったらいつもお腹いっぱいに食べるとやっぱりそういう病気になったりとかそのしやすいけど腹8分目っていうお腹いっぱいになるちょっと前ぐらいでもう終わる食べないようにしたら病気になることが少ない。
なるほど。
お医者さんに、そうそうそう。
So 腹8分目 is when you eat to 8%, no, 80%,
8%
no, sorry, 80% capacity for your stomach. So you don't eat until you're like completely full. You eat until you're 80% full. And so that is the way to stay healthy, I guess. And if you do that, you don't have to go to the doctor as much.
そういう意味です。素晴らしい。もう一度。腹8分目に医者いらず。
いい、すごいことしてるね。さすが。But when you eat ramen, yeah, for when I go to the jiroke, yeah, maybe I should take it easy and not eat so much. Eat all the way through. But the guy, sometimes I can't finish and he gets angry. The chef-san, Tencho, looks at me like, why didn't you eat all of it? Was it not delicious? What's wrong with you?
か食べきれないなら来るんじゃねえよみたいな。
それは
そういうこう
言われたら怖いんだけど。
男気っていうかそういうスタイルなの。あれはあれでそういうスタイルなんだと思いますよ。だから
So like
来るな
eating
ら
everything is like you're trying to give your respect and your compliment to the chef.
で来るならそれぐらいの覚悟で食べに来いよって。
Yeah, if you're gonna come, you better be prepared to eat.
でも本当になんていうのかなこうチェーンじゃなくて個人でやっている本当にこう自分たちでこう頑張って毎日毎日こう研究をしていいラーメンを作ろうとしているお店は本当にこだわりが詰まってるからやっぱりこう、写真を撮ったりとか話したりするよりも本当にそのラーメンの味に集中してこう味を楽しんでもらいたいっていうのが多分そのスタッフの気持ちですよね。
Yeah, of course. I have a question I wanted to ask you, Yuko Sensei. When you get a bowl of ramen, standard ramen, whatever, if it's tonkotsu ramen or shoyu ramen, whatever, lai-lai-te, like regular, like ramen, what's the first thing that you eat? Because in the ramen, there's lots of guzai, right? There's lots of, you have the pork slice and you have the...
シナチクのはず。
Yeah. And, sometimes, you have negi or something in there, ao negi or something in there. And you got the noodles. Do you sip the soup first? Do you eat the noodles first? Do you get the piece of pork? What do you eat first? How do you approach your ramen? What's the
approach to ramen ね。
Yeah.
今のマイカさんの質問を、ちょっと日本語でご説明させていただくと、
お願いします。
簡単に言うと、そう、ラーメン食べるときどこから食べるっていう話ですよね。
はい。
何から食べるか。いい質問ですね。私はそうね、でも、私はスープかな。
なるほど。
とりあえず、何かその麺とかね具材を食べる前にまずスープを一口飲んではってそのラーメンを感じる
スープでね、スープは味だから、ね、
そう
The soup has all the flavor in it, so.
きっと多分ねラーメン屋さんのお店も最初はスープから飲んでほしいって思ってるんじゃないですかね。わかんないですけど。
So I usually go for the soup first, and then one of the minor guzai, like the what I was just the what shinachiku.
うんうんうん。
Yeah, like I'll have the soup first, and then I'll have some shinachiku, and then I'll go for the noodles usually. I always save the meat for like later, you know.
そうね。だいたい私もスープから飲んで、その後麺。まず麺を食べて、で、そこから、そうね。あとはランダムに。
Yeah. There's so much we can talk about ramen though, but I think we're running short on time, so we should probably wrap up today's episode. So yeah, that's it for today's ramen episode. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next week.
ほら、またね。
Bye bye.
バイバイ。
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Kyotopia. If you enjoyed listening to us, we'd appreciate a review on your podcasting host of choice, and be sure to let your friends know about us. If you have any questions for us to answer on a future podcast episode, you can find us on Twitter under the handle Kyotopia3, or send us an email, kyotopiajapan@gmail.com. If you would like to support us further, please go to patreon.com/Kyotopia, where you can also get access to exclusive content.